Welcome to Animal Park. I'm Kate Humble.
And I'm Ben Fogle, and we're beside the lake in the safari park, home to the magnificent pink-backed pelican.
Now, Longleat was the first place in the country to successfully breed these African birds, and everyone is hoping that there may be the patter of tiny webbed feet a little later in the year.
And today we'll be going behind the scenes to see a whole host of other animals, including...
The rare pear-david stag has got its antlers in a twist.
Oh, I hit him, did I?
Tim Yo has to take drastic action.
We catch up with the new arrivals. At the camel barn, Bactrian baby Elvis has bounced onto the scene, while out in the paddock, there are 3 new kids on the block.
And I have a rare opportunity to get a close look at the new wolf cubs. Too close for the wolf pack's comfort.
They're coming over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are coming back.
First, at the Keeper's Lodge, Head of Section Tim Yo is preparing for a difficult task. It's not something he's looking forward to. This morning, on his rounds out in the enclosure, he spotted something worrying. Somehow, the pear-david stag had managed to get a piece of fencing wire tangled in his antlers. Pear-david deer are listed as critically endangered in the wild. With just a few thousand left in the world, the park's 5 females and 1 male are incredibly precious animals. Tim must act quickly, or the stag could get badly hurt.
The only way that we can remove the wire is to sedate him, and so, which is actually can be quite a difficult sort of job, because they're very difficult to get close to. But no other way of removing it. I mean, it's got to come off. If it stays, he's liable to get more and more tangled up in it, and it's an enormous hazard to him.
Darting is always stressful for an animal. It's a tricky procedure, but Tim is highly trained and knows how to do it as safely as possible.
There are risks to it, to the animal, obviously, but in this instance, there's no other way. We have to do this.
It's crucial to get the amount of sedative right. Too small a dose and the stag won't go to sleep, but too large a dose could kill him. To get close to the stag, Tim's come up with a cunning plan. He's going to go with the film crew in their vehicle.
I'm hoping that perhaps we can go in disguise somewhat, you know. This vehicle's very good because they do tend to get suspicious of certain vehicles, and certainly mine they see a lot and they're very suspicious of it. They shouldn't be, and probably won't be with this one.
The pear-david are shy creatures and very quick on their feet, so they're extremely difficult to dart.
Can we stop there, Will? A minute, please.
Tim wants to get as close as possible to make sure his first shot is accurate.
You get really one good chance at this, and that's the first chance, because if it goes wrong the first time, the stag that we're trying to sedate is wary and presents a far more difficult target the second time and beyond.
The pear-david are not cooperating.
So he doesn't really present a shot at the minute.
Tim's still at quite a long range from the stag, but suddenly he sees a chance.
No, I missed it.
Unfortunately, the dart went wide. Tim has to pick it up and start again. Having missed once, it's going to be even harder now.
keep going, Will. Just keep going as steady as you are.
The pair dabbed are nervous and even more wary than before. But eventually, Tim sees another opportunity.
Oh, I hit him, did I? I don't know if I hit him.
I think you got it.
I don't know if I hit him. I swung through and... I'm not sure.
The shot was good, but somehow the stag is still standing up.
The last dart hit him, but he didn't receive the whole drug, so it's not been nearly enough to sedate him, get him into a state that we can actually deal with him. So I feel now we need to, back off, leave it well alone for tonight. I think we need to sort of start afresh tomorrow.
We'll be back to see if Tim can sedate the stag before it gets badly injured by the wire.
Safely separated from the deer in a nearby enclosure live the park's 18 Canadian timber wolves, 11 males and 7 females. Two-Tip is the alpha male and Frida is the alpha female. Wolf packs are strictly hierarchical and usually only the alphas are allowed to breed. The other wolves contribute by helping to look after the cubs when they're born. Recently, keepers noticed that Frida was expecting, so they built her a nice box to have the cubs in. But she ignored it and chose instead to have her cubs at the base of a large tree. It's lucky for us because now we have a rare opportunity to see the little cubs weeks before they would normally come out into the open. Oh, look at those. Well, I'm up in Wolfwood with keeper Bob Trollope. What a fantastic moment, Bob.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. Now, the adults have all disappeared. They're being fed at the moment.
Yeah, they're being fed at the moment. This gives us an ample opportunity just to come over and actually check how many we've got, because this is the first time we've actually got here.
Looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there.
Yeah.
Blind at the moment. It looks like they've got their eyes closed.
Their eyes are closed, and they'll be like that for a week or two. But we don't normally see them like this because they're in a den.
Yeah, right underground.
Yeah, and we only ever see them about 4 weeks old when they're brave enough to sort of venture out. So this is great. This is really great.
Fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, obviously it's quite hard to tell from here, but all of them look a reasonable size. They look quite robust. They look pretty healthy. I mean, do you think this looks like a good litter?
Well, it is early days, and as you said, they do look really plump and healthy, and we know they have been suckling, but it is early days, and, if the weather turns nasty, who knows what's going to happen.
And how about the rest of the pack?
They do bond much closer together at this sort of time of year. One Tip especially is very quick at chasing our vehicles off. If we go anywhere near the tree.
So he's being a really protective dad.
He is absolutely... Well, he's not the dad. Two Tips is the dad, and One Tip is the one that comes along and chases us off. He's doing his job. He's the foreman.
Right.
Two Tips is the boss, and he's the foreman.
Right. He's the heavy that gets sort of sent in to do the bullying work.
They're coming over. I don't know if you can see them.
Oh, yeah.
They are
coming back.
We might have to move.
We'll pull
so we
out.
don't stress anyone too much. We'll just pull away slightly.
Yeah. It is amazing. I mean...
This is brilliant stuff, though. This is ideal.
Well, it's extraordinary because it just shows, even though, they're obviously used to vehicles and the public coming round here, that their wild instincts to protect the cubs are absolutely intact.
It's incredible, and, they will grab hold of something and they will not let go. So, what they are doing now is what you would want them to do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's brilliant, and I think we're going to have to go further than I anticipated.
Yeah, they're really having a go at us, aren't they?
I'm just so glad.
I'm very glad I'm in the truck.
I'm glad it's not my vehicle either.
That's amazing, isn't it? So what we're seeing so well is this coordination between all of them as well.
And we're at a safe distance now, and they've just left us.
Yeah.
So we're no threat to the cubs. So, we're obviously away enough for them to warrant going back to their food or going back and checking the cubs.
Well, Bob, that was an amazing, amazing view of those tiny cubs.
Yeah.
I mean, just fantastic. Hopefully, over the next few weeks, we'll see them grow up and become healthy members of the pack. But congratulations. I know it was a worrying time for you, but you must be very relieved.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Bob. Over at the East Africa Reserve live the park's 10 African pygmy goats. Although they're famous for their fertility, it's been a long time since any kids were born here. But now keeper Bev Evans is hoping that's all about to change.
At the moment, we've got 7 female pygmy goats. About 6 years ago, we decided to castrate our males just to keep our numbers down. At one time, we've had 35 pygmy goats here, so 10 really is a much better number for us. But as our herd's getting a lot older, we've brought in a billy to get a bit of fresh blood, really. We don't really know whether he's going to take his time to get to know them as such and find his feet, because it's different surroundings for him, or whether he's just going to carry on and get on with the job. Hey, John Joe, come on. Good boy.
The lucky stud is a 2.5-year-old goat named John Joe. He's come here on loan from a safari park in West Glamorgan to carry out this special mission.
I was expecting something a little bit bigger, but he is a proper pygmy, so yeah, he's a very good-looking goat.
Bev may be confident of John Joe's credentials, but the female goats, or does, don't seem quite so impressed.
John Joe does seem quite interested, but to be honest, maybe some of the females aren't in season yet. A lot of them are quite old, so to be honest, they might not all conceive, and if they do, they might just have single births, but we're hoping for twins from each.
It might not be love at first sight, but given time, the horny little billy goat manages to do what he came for. 2 weeks after he arrived, Bev has good news.
We've definitely seen John Joe mating Sunflower and Ali, so we definitely know he's been doing well with some of the girls. We imagine he's got on with it with the rest of the girls, but, you know, that's one of the things. We're going to have to wait and see.
For John Joe, it's mission accomplished.
He's been an absolutely excellent goat. He has actually done his job, and he's done it really well. And, yeah, he's got to go back home.
We'll be back to see if John Joe's labours will bear fruit.
Elsewhere in the park, the breeding season's already well underway.
Oh, well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I met you like...
Just days ago, Bactrian camel Barley gave birth to a beautiful baby boy named Elvis.
love. I'm all shook up. Yeah.
Elvis had a bit of a shaky start, as he was born with a weak hind leg.
I can't seem to stand on my own feet. Who do you think?
Thankfully, within days the leg strengthened, and Elvis was soon kicking up his heels in glee. I'm a big fan of Bactrian camels, so today I'm in for a treat. I'm up in the new area with Deputy Head of Section Kevin Nibbs and one of the newest residents here. How old is this little fellow?
He's only a few days old at the moment.
He is absolutely exquisite. He's a perfect little camel, isn't he?
He's a miniature, absolutely miniature, yep.
So why have we got him out today? What's happening?
What we've got to do is just give him a little calcium supplement, which is this.
And why are we giving him that?
When he was born, he struggled for the first 24 to 48 hours of getting up.
Right.
And we thought it was kind of maybe a lack of vitamins, minerals and things like that. So this is just a good calcium boost.
And you just pour it into his mouth with just like some...
That's it, yeah.
Very strong milk, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah.
That's basically what it is.
He takes it quite nicely now.
And how often does he get that?
He's going to get this every morning.
Shall I hold him anywhere in particular while you do that?
Just to stop him backing away, really.
Okay. Shall I just hold him?
He'll get this every morning for a good few weeks now.
And he's obviously suckling from his mother as well at this time.
Yep. Yeah, he's getting lots of milk.
Almost in?
That's it.
There we go.
It's
So that's literally going to just help his bones and things, is it?
Yep. Strong bones, strong teeth. Just a really powerful source of milk, really. That's all it is.
Now, he's got this rather different colour, doesn't he, to the other camels? That's not Mum there, is it?
That's Mum there,
Is
yeah.
it? Just peering through at us. Is she quite protective right now?
Yes, Mum's very protective of him, which is why we brought him out here, away from her. Yeah, and the grey coat, that'll actually fade away eventually, and it'll turn brown. Just like sort of Mum and Dad, they're quite dark.
And obviously Kevin, by the fact that there's the 2 humps, he's obviously a Bactrian.
That's right, yeah.
And am I right in thinking they are quite rare in the wild?
They are very endangered in the wild. There's maybe less than 1,000 sort of left in the wild. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty important thing for the world, I suppose, you could argue,
definitely.
that he's been born.
Not just for our breeding programme, but for the worldwide one, he's going to be a very important feature of it.
You work with these camels all day. Is it pretty exciting for you when you get a new arrival like this?
It is, yeah. This is my first baby that I've actually seen.
Yeah.
So for me, it's quite a privilege to get hold of him and do things like this with him.
And a pretty frisky little baby as well.
He is, yeah. You can just see how powerful he is now after just a few days.
Yeah.
So give him a few weeks, he's going to be a nightmare.
I'm sure. Oh, he's making a few noises. We should probably stop because he can back to me.
That's it.
So I open that and put it back in?
Yeah.
You going to go in there? Look, she's really waiting, isn't she?
Sunshine. There he is. I'll have to get a bit more milk now.
Fantastic. Well, Kevin, thank you very much
No problem.
letting me help out. And, of course, we'll be following his progress throughout the series.
This morning, Head of Section Tim Yo's up bright and early, preparing himself for an important mission. Today, he has a second chance to dart the rare Père David stag, who's managed to get fencing wire tangled in his antlers. Yesterday, Tim scored a hit on the stag, but sadly the dart malfunctioned. It failed to deliver the sedative drug and is still stuck in the stag's thick hide. It's vital that the wire is removed as soon as possible before the stag gets more tangled up and hurts himself. So today, the pressure is on to get it right. To get close to the stag without being recognised, Tim's going with our film crew in their car. He wants to be within 30 metres of his target when he takes the first shot. If he misses, as he did yesterday, the stag will become more skittish than usual and almost impossible to hit. But the other animals are not cooperating.
Rhino around. Oh no. Give me a break, man. Give me a break. Good boy, good boy. Good boy, come on then. Come on then.
It's a waiting game as Tim stalks the stag around his favourite wallow.
He's telling her to get out. I'm gonna go.
It's not the ideal place to bring him down.
Trouble is, what about his shooting him down like that? I'm not happy about it.
If sedated here, the stag might drown. Tim has got to be patient. But eventually, he sees his chance.
Yes, yes, yes.
As it's designed to do, the dart falls out once the drug goes in.
Thank God for that. I mean, and that looked very good. It's gone well into muscle, right into the rump. So, fingers crossed now, we'll just wait and see what happens.
It takes a few minutes for the drug to work. But soon the entangled stag begins to drift off to sleep.
I'm just giving it time for the drug to fully take effect. I mean, I know he's been down a little while, but if we move in too quickly, you know, he could easily get up. He's not likely to do that, but we've certainly had it in the past. If you move in too quickly, adrenaline, they're up and they're away. The less stimulation that we give him now, the better.
As soon as they're confident that the deer is out cold, the team can approach him. Deputy Head Warden Ian Turner is on hand to help.
Will it just come off Ian, I suppose, will it? Yeah, it is, isn't it, more or less, isn't it?
They want to do this quickly, so the stag is sedated for as little time as possible. But they have to be gentle.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Just mind yourself, because I'll bring his leg out. A bit there. Should we cut some of that?
A side effect of the drug is that the stag loses the ability to regulate his own body temperature. So Tim must make sure he doesn't overheat. Then it's time to administer the antidote to rouse him.
Okay. I think we could move off when we're ready, couldn't we?
Anybody's not, don't need to be a get back neutral.
Yeah. Well done, guys. Yeah, we'll just pull away now and leave him.
Now Tim can only wait and hope that the stag will recover. Within minutes, the stag wakes up. He's a little groggy for a moment, but then he trots off to rejoin the herd as if nothing had happened. The operation has been a success.
I'm so happy that we've managed to catch him and remove this wire, which is forever a hazard. It had begun to wrap around one of his hind legs, so it's a relief that we've removed it before it's been able to do any damage to him. He's back with the hinds now, and you know, life goes on.
Back at the East Africa Reserve, 5 months have passed since male African pygmy goat John Joe met and mingled with the 7 female goats. Now the first of his kids have been born. Keeper Bev Evans has brought Safari Park vet Duncan Williams along to check on them.
Last night we had Sour give birth to twins, little boy and little girl. And it was amazing to find 2 little ones with her, so that was really good.
These 2 kids are doing well, but sadly the news is not all good. G and Sunflower gave birth to stillborn babies. Now G is behaving strangely.
Obviously we've got Duncan in looking at everybody today, making sure they're all right. But it is a bit of a worry really, because it's supposed to be down to their age and the fact that they've never had babies before, they're having stillborns.
She seems a little bit distressed and disturbed, and I think that's probably because she's lost her babies and she's kind of looking around for them.
But Bev is delighted she's got 2 healthy kids to add to the herd she looks after.
It's my first experience with pygmy goats, and it's actually quite a shock to see how small they actually are. They're absolutely tiny, but such a big voice as well, really high pitched, really vocal, especially when you take them and move them to their mums and stuff. They're very vocal.
Just days later, Head of Section Andy Hayton and the team moved the mums and their kids back out into the paddock to rejoin the rest of the herd. G seems to have recovered well from her ordeal. For Sour's 2 youngsters, it would be the first taste of the wide-open enclosure.
Just getting them out. We like our animals to be as normal as possible, you know, just get them into a normal frame of mind and routine of doing things as quickly as we can. So, yeah, get them out and let the kids see them, innit?
Goats are highly social animals, so Andy and the team want to introduce the kids to the rest of the herd as quickly as possible. But there's one potential problem.
You've got to be a bit careful because these 3 boys have never really seen babies before. All of a sudden there's these new little weird bleaty things in here and it's a bit freaky for them. So they'll be fine, they'll get used to it.
Thankfully, it doesn't take long for the herd to accept the new arrivals, including a 3rd kid born to Mum Prawn.
They're using the shelter as a base, you know, they're going in there at night to sleep, which is brilliant, because we obviously wouldn't want mums, you know, lining them up out outside in the cold. But they seem to be doing really well. He's a little bit more of a quieter character, but I think that's because he is a single. The other 2 are quite bolshy, running around all over the place, but then they've got an extra 3 days on him, so hopefully he'll get a bit more sprightly. When you see them play, they're doing all sorts. They're finding their feet, they're getting their balance, and they're also headbutting each other slightly, which, if you notice in the older goats, they do a lot. So they're already showing, even on the second day, they're showing, you know, the grown-up natural goat behaviour. Next year we will bring in another billy to our 7 females and try again and see what happens. So hopefully the second year, you know, they'll be a lot more used to it all, and we certainly will be as well.
We'll be keeping tabs on these new kids on the block throughout the series.
We're up beside Half Mile Lake with keeper Val Magruder and this wonderful swan family, Val. I gather that these 2 swans have lived on the lake for many years.
They have, as long as we can remember, really. It's Albert and Victoria. They've got 7 cygnets this year. Every year they have cygnets, and they're really, really good parents. They do look after them. They're very protective, and they really need to be, because, of course, they live on the lake with sea lions.
You say every year these 2 have cygnets. Does that mean that they actually mate for life?
Yeah, they do. They will mate for life. If a mate dies, then perhaps they will look for another one, but otherwise they will stay together.
And there is a royal connection to them, isn't there?
There is, yeah. They are sort of very royal birds. There isn't anybody else allowed to kill a swan apart from royal family.
Although I don't think they do it very often, do they? One hopes not, anyway.
Well, hang on, when you see them like this, they're so beautiful, and those cygnets are fantastic.
Oh, they are. They're lovely birds.
Well, Val, thank you very much. Sadly, that's all we've got time for on today's programme, but here's what's coming up on the next Animal Park.
The park is home to more than 50 species from all over the world.
While the keepers care for them all, they each have their favourite.
On the next Animal Park, they battle it out to determine which is Longleat's ultimate animal. More animal stories to come this morning, with a double bill of more creatures great and small, starting with the vets racing to save the life of a calf in Teesdale. That's next here on BBC 2.